Would you all please rise for the singing of our national anthem? You may be seated. This time I would like to introduce Mike Majors, Senior Class President of the Class of 2000. Mike Majors.
Good evening. As Mr. Kruger said, I'm Michael Majors, and I'm a proud member of the Senior Class of 2000. On behalf of the entire class, I would like to thank all of you for showing your support by being here tonight. Thank you. For the last 4 years, the Class of 2000 has proved itself to be one of the greatest classes ever to go through Shawnee Mission North. Every aspect of our education has been that of excellence. We have had the pleasure of being led through these last 4 years by one of the best faculties around. We hold national titles in academics, sports, theater, and spirit. I know, that every soon-to-be graduate on the field tonight will go on to be the best at whatever they choose to do. Carry on the tradition that is Shawnee Mission North's Class of 2000. All of you will go on to do great things in the world, and all of our lives will change in so many ways. But throughout your journey of life, never forget your roots here at Shawnee Mission North. It's been an honor to serve as your president. Thank you.
While Mike has been at North, his activities have included being a part of Thespians, Stuco, and Senior Class President. His future plans include attending KU, where he plans to major in pre-dentistry, and he would like to go on to dental school at UMKC, and he added this afternoon, and follow in the footsteps of Uncle Brubby. Congratulations, Mike. On behalf of the North staff, I too would like to welcome you to the 78th graduation ceremony honoring the Shawnee Mission North Class of 2000. You may have already recognized a number of special people on the stage who came to help honor the graduates this evening. They are Dr. Craig Denny, President, Board of Education, West Area. Mrs. Susan Metzger, Board of Education, North Area. Mrs. Cindy Neighbor, Board of Education, Member at Large. Mr. Brian Sisney, Board of Education, Member at Large. Mr. John Allison, Associate Superintendent, Educational Services. Dr. Gene Johnson, Associate Superintendent, Administrative Services, Secondary. Mrs. Susan Knight, Principal, Blue Jacket Flint Elementary School. Mr. Michael Stouffer, Principal, South Park Elementary School. Dr. Kendall Stevenson, Principal, East Antioch Elementary School. Mr. Fred Vaughn, Principal, Neiman Elementary School. Mrs. Jennifer Friend, Assistant Principal, Indian Hills Middle School. Dr. Kevin Peters, Principal, Antioch Middle School. Mrs. Cherry Hannon, Associate Principal, Shawnee Mission North. Dr. Lois Peterson, Associate Principal, Shawnee Mission North. Joellen Ronson, Principal, Roland Park Elementary School. Who should have been just before Mike Stouffer, but we went right over her. Others on stage will be introduced later in the program. I would certainly like to thank those people on the stage for attending and being a part of this ceremony and celebration. A special thank you to the lady in charge of the graduation tonight, Mrs. Cherry Hannon, also to Cindy Gill, Tammy Reddig, and Jane Stubbs. Big thank you for all the preparation that's gone into this graduation. Tonight, you all will be a part of a once-in-a-lifetime event. This is truly a ceremony of significance and a celebration of accomplishment. 13 years of perseverance and hard work. Two of you, Aaron Anderson and Nathan Reeves, have distinguished yourselves by persevering and working hard to become National Merit finalists. Many of you have earned scholarships totaling over $1.5 million. Congratulations. Your senior class officers, Mike Majors, President, Leanna Smith, Vice President, Will Blackwell, Secretary and Indian Mascot, and Angie Cowles, Treasurer, have worked hard to make North a special school of which you should be proud. Your Student Congress officers, Casey Collier, President, Heather Blake, Vice President, Brandon Jewell, Secretary, and Leslie Saunders, Treasurer, have provided fun and substance with everything from dances to charitable activities that you as a senior class responded to in a resoundingly positive way. As you graduate this evening, so will 15 of your faculty members be retiring or leaving. There will be 7 retirees: Susan Cleaton in math, Carolyn Jeter in English, Gary Langner in computer science, Joan Preifert in English, Larry Taylor in math, and Betty Teener in reading. There will also be 8 others leaving for jobs or continued education. They are Jim Christian, English, Jim Grassick, physics, Lisa Gruman, math, Jason Harris, theater arts, Jeff Kahn, special education, Nancy Marcy, language arts, Chris Matthews, nurse, and Mike Orr, counselor. To all of you, we wish you the best in the new directions you will be going. May you bring as much to the new endeavors which you undertake as you did in the time you spent at North. Class of 2000, I want each of you to reflect a moment. I want you to try to remember your senior year from the beginning to the end. Probably impossible, but give it a try. Think of all the classes, the rehearsals, the practices. Think of all the ceremonies, homecoming, Northmen, Spring King and Queen, etc. Think of all the miles you walked and ran traveling North's halls and playing fields. Think of the excitement you had being a part of an award-winning group or team. Think of how you were an individual among the many. Think about the caring you received outside of North. What are you thinking about now in terms of being an individual and being a part of a group will be true as you move through life? College work, the military await you immediately. Your choices now will thrust you as an individual into many varied groups and situations. Let me tell you of one individual who belonged to a group and most definitely was an individual and became famous in American history. In 1804, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark hired a fur trapper, Toussaint Charbonneau, as a guide and interpreter for their expedition across the newly acquired Louisiana Purchase. But it was Charbonneau's wife, Sacagawea, a 16-year-old Shawnee woman, whose guidance proved invaluable to the future of a young nation. For the next 2 years, carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, on her back, Sacagawea pointed the way, leading the party of 45 men from North Dakota through the mountain passes, across the Continental Divide to the Pacific Ocean. One day, as they navigated the Missouri River, disaster struck. A canoe overturned, surrendering valuable survey instruments and medicine to the strong current. Sacagawea dove in and saved the precious cargo as the men went after the canoe. Meriwether Lewis deeply admired Sacagawea, describing her as a woman of fortitude and resolution. For all men then and now, Sacagawea cut through the barriers of race and gender to play an active role in shaping her country, pointing the way to the future. Like Sacagawea, Lewis, Clark, you all are about to embark on a long journey that will lead you not through a wilderness, but through the ever-growing, ever-confusing age of technology. How will each of your lives be affected and changed as you, the class of 2000, grow old? Time, the great leveler, will tell us. But to date, you have shown you can be a part of a group and yet still be an individual in a diverse world. To remember tonight, to remember your possibilities as individuals in a diverse world, to commemorate your place in the class of 2000, each of you will receive a gold-colored $1 coin bearing Sacagawea's likeness. Keep this as a memento, spend this for a treasure, invest this for the future, but always remember your positive possibilities as an individual. As Indians of Shawnee Mission North, a unique, different, and diverse group, you go forward to your destinies. And with this impending technological age of exploding information, North also wants each of you to have something of this age and this time. Each of you will receive a dictionary and a thesaurus from North. These two books, along with the Bible, have most assuredly stood the test of time. May they be helpful and useful to you after you have left North. May we never become so technologically inclined that we lose the printed word. One last request. Find someone to thank and thank them. You did not get here by yourself. Family, friends, teachers, counselors, administrators have all been a part of seeing to it that you are where you are today within minutes of graduating from high school. Again, thank someone for helping you be here this evening. Class of 2000, celebrate your successes tonight. Remember those close to you. This is your night. Congratulations and God bless. The SM North Chorale will now sing Song for Peace. Would the following seniors please come to the podium at this time? Erin Anderson, Jessica Armstrong, Jessica Dixon, Catherine Favreau, Jessica Gibson, Sarah McIntyre, Michael Osterhaus, Barbara Porter, Emily Seraphin, and Katrina Vandeputty. While those people are coming forward, I would like to, at this time, to recognize those students who were the students who were 11th through the 20th in their class. It's something new for us, but here at North to recognize these students at this time. But the grade point averages were so close, and if you can imagine this, they ranged from a 4.77 to a 4.18. Students took anywhere from a maximum, this is the 1 to 20 students, anywhere from a maximum of 30 units of credit to 26 units of credit. Required is only 23. At this time, as I read your names, would you please stand with the graduates of 2000 as I read your names. These are the students who were 11th through 20th in alphabetic order, not in numerical order. Julie Busby, Josh Dirks, please remain standing. Brian Griffin, Jason Hargett, Brandon Jewell, Danielle Lesovitz, Nathan Reeves, Andrew Ritter, Stephanie Shipman, and Ross Waters. Congratulations to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. This time we will introduce the top 10 in alphabetical order, and Dr. Johnson and Mr. Allison will help with this by presenting them with their stoles. If they would please stay on the stage as we finish. Aaron K. Anderson. Jessica L. Armstrong. Jessica L. Dixon. Catherine E. Favreau. Jessica R. Gibson. Sarah R. McIntyre. Michael J. Osterhaus. Barbara A. Porter. Emily A. Seraphin. And Katrina L. Vandeputty. Ladies and gentlemen, the top 10 of the class of 2000. This time I would like to present Leanna Smith, Senior Class Vice President. Leanna's activities have included Club 121, drama, marching band, track and field, student congress, and the National Honor Society. Her future plans would be that she would like to be a loving and faithful wife and mother someday, and possibly a co-owner of a business with her best friend. Leanna Smith.
As the school year came to an end, the senior class reps were told that they were to choose who the alumnus speaker for graduation would be. Notes came pouring in from teachers voting for their favorite graduate of the past. Over half of these teachers voted for the same person. I thought it was amazing how so many of our teachers remembered this single person. I thought, man, this guy must have done something great to be remembered by so many people. After hours of consideration and elimination, the senior class finally came to a conclusion. Of course, we followed our teachers' advice, but why did we do it? Well, for starters, they are the ones who have seen us young people grow into adulthood. And secondly, we also believe that this man had a lot in common with us. He graduated in the year 1982, which is the year that many of us seniors were born. This man was also involved in school activities, as many of us are. His involvement ranged from sports and sports editor of the Mission to being involved in Quill and Scroll and Pep Club president. One of his teachers told us that once he commented, "When am I ever going to use this English stuff anyway?" Well, it's been 18 years, and I'm sure that English stuff really did come in handy while he attended K-State University. I'm sure that all he was involved in high school has played a part in getting him to where he is today. He is part owner of WHB Sports Talk 810 Radio and is hosting his own show on the radio station. I am honored to introduce our distinguished alumnus, Kevin Keatsman.
Leanna, thank you. Mr. Kruger, Mrs. Hannon, thank you very much. Class of 2000, thank you for having me here tonight. I thought this was going to be easy, but about 20 minutes ago I realized that it's not. So much comes back into your mind. I'm not a real good speechwriter. I might not have paid enough attention in English. I'm an ad-lib kind of guy. I do radio every day, so I've got some notes here, which is a little unusual, but I'm just going to talk a little bit off the cuff, I think, tonight, which may be a little different. This is such an honor, you can't believe it, and I guess I accept this honor on behalf of the entire class of 1982 because I feel certain that there were many graduates of the 1982 class that I'm not just feeling certain, I know I'm certain, that are doctors out there saving lives and people doing much more important things than what I do, and because I've gained a little notoriety, I've been asked back tonight, and I accept this honor tonight on behalf of the entire class of 1982. It's an outstanding group. Many of your classmates tonight, or after this summer, you may not even see for the next 20 years. You might not remember their name or their face when you run into them 20 years down the road, but many others that you know and have known and have been so close to you, thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate that. Can we get this man in the side gate, please? We'll bring him right in. Many of your closest friends will be your closest friends for life, even if you don't go to college together, even if you move on over the next few years. A living example of that is I have a house guest at my house now who's been living in Texas for the past 7 years, and I didn't see him very often. But he's a fellow graduate from 1982, and he didn't have a place to stay when he moved home, and he's looking for a house, and what do? You call a high school buddy. And that's kind of what it's about. I don't know. I'm not even going to call him out tonight because some of you probably know him, but when Mr. Kruger was up here, he said, thank somebody, and I think that's very important. I want to thank two people tonight, one that couldn't be here and one that is here. The one that couldn't be here is my father, who passed away about 6 months ago, and I feel sure that he would be a very proud dad tonight if he could have been with us. He was here many times in the stadium, shouting at the top of his lungs, no doubt teaching me how to criticize coaches and play calling. It has served me well in my career. Or the time in 1982 when my dad was in the construction business. He worked very long days when the weather was nice. When it rained, he had absolutely nothing to do. And it had rained really hard one day, and he came out to the field, which we referred to as the pit. It can no longer be called that because it's beautiful. He came out one afternoon with Coach Hansen and said, no, we're going to play baseball out here today. And Coach Hansen said, you got to be kidding me. It's like a wet horse track out here. It was sloppy, it was muddy, it was messy. My dad said, we'll fix that. He walks over to his pickup truck and he pulls out an old World War II flamethrower. And he started this sucker up and just started shooting flames all over the infield to try to dry that thing out. And that's the kind of dad my dad was. And I think it exemplifies the spirit at Shawnee Mission North, kind of a can-do spirit that I've kept with me throughout my professional career, and I think I'll have the rest of my life. The other person to thank that is here is Jim Hansen, because when I was in school at Shawnee Mission North, in my time here, he was my baseball coach for 3 years, but he was so much more than that. I mentioned my dad worked very long hours, and Coach Hansen in many ways taught me things about life, about relationships, about loyalty, about hard work, things that didn't necessarily apply to my schoolwork here or even my baseball playing days. And I've kept those things with me, and you find 18 years later that maybe you haven't come back as often as you should, you haven't thanked the people that you should, you haven't told them how you feel, but Coach Hansen is here tonight. I think he's been walking, he's right over here. And thank you, Coach, very much. I think if you ask him sometime, and he'd like it if you walked up and asked him sometime, we didn't have the most talented baseball team in the state of Kansas, but we did win the state title in 1982. I've still got the medal and many pictures, and nothing but a lifetime of memories from that experience. It was certainly wonderful. Way to go, Coach. Outstanding. The list of other honorees for Distinguished Alum at Shawnee Mission North is quite impressive, and I'm very, very proud to be mentioned in that group with those people. And when I sat here 18 years ago, I was so disappointed that I wasn't up here at the podium, oddly enough. I had made a pact as a sophomore with my best friends. I said, you know what, 3 years from now, if I get up to that podium, boy, we're going to do something really silly. We're going to bring the house down. That's the kind of guy I was, and I think some teachers here today are still referring to those types of things. But we kept it pretty jovial at most times. And I swore that if I ever got in front of this podium, I would do something silly, but boy, 18 years changes everything. So you're going to have to take the conservative me tonight. I'm not sure what I'd have done if I had been you and allowed to come up here when I graduated. But I want to talk a little bit about what your future holds, because there was a very clear, and I didn't know it at the time, it was clearly a defining moment, not only the graduation ceremony in 1982, but then the summer that followed before I went off to Kansas State. I didn't know it at the time. Many people had said, this is the beginning of the rest of your life. You heard every cliche that was out there. And I didn't think a whole lot about it. I thought, well, you know, high school wasn't that hard. I got through here. Everything's going fine. My life's pretty good. I'm going to go off to college. It'll be the same way. You know, life's a piece of cake. 8 months after graduating, I came home for the holidays, and I had been placed on academic probation at Kansas State University. I hear, by the way, the percentage of that happening these days is alarming. It's not something really to be laughed at, but when you go off to college, it is a life change. And I thought, man, I'm out of the house, I'm on my own, I can do what I want, and it just went like this. I mean it. It went like this. And my dad said, son, you're a lucky kid. I'm paying for your college. You got 1 semester to clean it up or you're done. I took him at his word, and I took him seriously, and I did graduate in 4 years from Kansas State. And I can't tell you how much I learned in doing that, and looking back all these years, 18 years back, I realized that really the dividing point in my lifetime to this point was graduating from high school. You lose a lot of friends, but you make a lot of friends. You're completing something very important, your high school education, but for many of you, you're just beginning your education that will lead to greatness in many cases, and certainly challenging work and a challenging life that is ahead. You have a clean slate. You have a brand new beginning. It is time to make goals. It is time to think about what you want to do with your life, whether it's dedicated to family, profession, religion, your country. Whatever it might be, you'll be putting a lot of thought into that in the next few months. And in the next few years, you'll be pursuing those things diligently, and I'm certain with the same Shawnee Mission North spirit that I remember. Unfortunately for you, and there were many smarter students here than I was never honored up here on the stage. Unfortunately, what you've done in the past will not matter as much in the future. You're going to have to reprove yourself every day. When you go to college, or if you go into service, or to the church, or take a profession next year, you have to reprove every day what you've demonstrated here at Shawnee Mission North. They're not going to ask you how you did here. This might be good for some of you. You might think, hey, I'd like a clean slate, a new start. Take advantage of it, because what you do from here on out is extremely important, and you must follow your dreams. Don't do what your friends ask you to do. Don't even necessarily listen to your teachers, your parents. If you've got something you want to do, my advice to you is to do it. My first week at Kansas State, they assembled about 75 of us in a room. We were all going to be television sportscasters. What a pipe dream, right? And the professor walks in and he says, well, I got bad news for you. There's 75 of you in this room. 70 of you aren't going to make it. It's all a pipe dream for you guys. And I looked around and I thought, boy, who are those 70 people? These people look pretty good. It's not going to be me, right? And that's kind of how it is out there. But I took that as a challenge, and that was one of the most inspiring moments of my life when I was told I couldn't do something. And perhaps you'll accept a challenge the same way. But as you know, your slate is now clean and you have to reprove everything. Take it for what it's worth. Do what you want to do, and you will find in the end that everything works out. I chose a profession that I love. I'm a sports broadcaster. I would have done it for nothing, basically, and did it many years for nothing because of the love of it. It's paid off in the long run. I'm a happy person. I'm happy with my career. I have a wonderful family, and I believe that's the real basis of what will be your happiness in the future, is to follow your dream. If someone tells you you can't be a dentist or a doctor or an attorney or the President of the United States, don't listen to them. You've got so much ahead of you. Just go after it. Pursue it relentlessly. It is the Shawnee Mission North way. It's the way I remember everyone from the class of '82, and it's the way that I've heard it explained about the class of 2000. Use this knowledge. You've been shown the way by your parents, by your teachers, by the administrators of your school, perhaps by clergy. You've been shown the way. You've been told what is right, what is wrong, how to achieve it, and how to grab it. Follow their advice. These people know. They know through experience, and they know through trial and error. And you can succeed by listening to those things. It's not the glamorous way to do it. It's not flashy. A lot of people want to graduate from high school and go to Hollywood and become an actor and an overnight sensation or something like that. Many times the best road is the long road. It can be a difficult road. But there are things that never go out of style. Consistency, hard work, determination, they will never go out of style. The music in your lifetime will change. The fads will change. Your friends will change. Those things will never, ever go out of style. Go pursue your dreams and your goals consistently by working hard, and do it in a determined fashion. Good luck to all of you. Congratulations, and thanks for having me here tonight.
Kevin, in appreciation for being here this evening and also being the distinguished alum for Shawnee Mission North for the class and in the year 2000, a little memento, well, maybe actually a pretty big memento as I look at it, but of Shawnee Mission North, a present to you, a gift to you. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. Open it here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Rip her open.
We're kind of doing an impromptu deal here. I didn't know we were going to do it. How do I open? This is so beautiful. See, we don't have ribbons like this at my house. How do we do this? Like this? Just pull or tear or what?
Pull or tear.
Who did this? Who's responsible for this? Oh, boy. We've got some. There we go. There we go. Wonderful. Wow. Class of 2000 didn't pay for this, did they? They'd be hitting me up for a donation. Ah, beautiful. My high school, your high school, Shawnee Mission North. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This time I would like to introduce Sarah McIntyre. Sarah's activities at Shawnee Mission North have included the yearbook, marching band, categories, Indian lore, and volunteer work. Her future plans are to attend Carleton College in Minnesota and major in math and science, a double major. This is a bit unusual tonight. In the 15 years that it's been my pleasure to preside over graduations, this is the first time that this has occurred. The person who will be giving the oration tonight is also number one in the class. So the number one in the class of 2000, giving the oration for the class of 2000 tonight, Sarah McIntyre.
Thank you. You guys are great. I am proud to be a part of the group of students who have proven that we are amazing enough to do all that is required to graduate from Shawnee Mission North. Some schools boast of their superior curriculum. However, here at North, we do not need to boast only of our curriculum. We are able instead to boast of the individuals who are products of that curriculum. We have accomplished much. We have proven that people from different backgrounds are able to come together to form a new class, a class devoted to obtaining an education. We are able to celebrate our differences and diverse experiences and use them as a tool for better understanding the world around us. We are a diverse group, and our interests are far-reaching. Many of the graduates here today are involved in a plethora of activities, both in and out of school. Contrary to popular belief, we don't sit in our rooms night after night and study for tests, write papers, or do homework. Nor do we go out with the sole intention of acting like criminals or frightening others with our individuality. We show up at school in the wee hours of the morning to put up signs in the hallway to inform the student body of what is happening in the next week or so. And we stay for hours and hours after school to prepare for drama productions, to practice for sports, to let the creative juices flow on a project we're working on for an art class, or to work feverishly to meet an upcoming journalism deadline. If you had stumbled into the journalism room around 10 o'clock in the evening, any night of the week, your ears would have been the first of your senses to be assaulted. Tunes from the Dixie Chicks, Pure 80s, or Dave Matthews Band pounded through the room. There is no doubt that your sight would have been the next sense confronted by room 182. The room itself was decorated in inspirational messages, magazine clippings, notes to one another, and forests of paper just strewn about. You would see someone dancing in the middle of the room to the music, and an editor alternately beating on a colorful iMac with a rubber chicken and cooing to it in soft, comforting tones. Finally, your nose would have picked out a montage of scents: Doritos, chocolate, leftover dinner, and the musky smell of the happily fed mice. Just down the hall and up a sloping ramp, the sounds of a circular saw, piano, a chorus of voices, and the jazz tune "In the Mood" mingle together to form a slightly discordant meeting of the drama and music departments. Out through a set of double doors and across the teacher's parking lot, you would find men in long sleeves and pants, some throwing a baseball back and forth, others running around the perimeter, and still more practicing their batting or pitching. Among these dedicated and sweaty men, you would see coaches correcting form and barking directions. The baseball team is practicing in the heat of the day for an up-and-coming game. Most of us here also devote countless hours outside of school to other activities and organizations that some people only dream of participating in. As we graduate from high school, we are proving to ourselves and those around us that we are many things. We are artists and plumbers, doctors and mechanics. We are gymnasts and fledgling lawyers. We are Olympians and executives. We are engineers, athletes, and politicians. We are aspiring teachers and scientists, hermits and philanthropists. We are musicians and thespians, and one of us may one day be President of the United States. We are many things, but lack of involvement and purposelessness are not on that list. We're a colorful crowd. Here at North, there is no such thing as a geek or a nerd. We are all well-rounded individuals. I am glad that I am able to speak at a ceremony designed to honor us and our accomplishments. We may not be perfect, but most people aren't. And we may still be kids with a lot of learning to do, but we are headed in the right direction. I think it is important that we are being recognized. Right now, right this very instant, we are helping to dispel the growing opinion that today's youth, you and I, are cynical, lethargic teenagers who spend their days thinking up new ways to rebel against authority. We are letting the world know that we care. We are intelligent, critical thinkers, and we plan on doing great things in the future. So, friends and family, I encourage you to look past the flaws, the short detours from sanity, and the occasional spontaneous lapses in judgment, and look at the whole person you are honoring tonight. Speak up and let your graduate or graduates know how proud you are of them. Pick one or two of their accomplishments and let them know what it meant or how special it is to you. Join us in celebrating our graduation from Shawnee Mission North. Join us in celebrating who we are, what we've done, and the potential we possess. Thank you.
North counselors, please get the graduates ready to receive their diplomas. Parents, friends, relatives, students of the class of 2000 asked that I remind you of this prior to them receiving their diplomas. They asked that I read to you, "We appreciate your sharing this special time in our lives and respectfully request that the audience refrain from recognizing individual members of our class during presentation of diplomas. We want our names heard clearly. Thank you, the class of 2000. Would the first readers of the roll please come forward at this time? The readers of the roll tonight are Jason Hargett, whose activities have included marching pep concert and symphonic band, National Honor Society, thespians, ART 2000, and drama. Jason's making it up here on my left. It's all right. It's all right. A little bit of a surprise there for you, Jason. Molly Rasdell, whose activities have included cheerleading, Stuco, ART, peer mediation, and the National Honor Society. Her future plans are to attend K-State and major in public relations. And if I missed it, I'm not sure that I said that Jason's plans included majoring in biology at KU. Nathan Reeves, whose activities have included marching band, jazz band, Pitt Orchestra for Drama, and the National Honor Society. His future plans include attending KU, and he plans to major in music education. Nathan Reeves. Natalie Scott, whose activity, her own fan club. Natalie Scott, whose activities have included varsity swimming, volleyball, Amnesty International, the Dream Team, Student Congress, and Pep Club. Her future plans are to attend Johnson County Community College for 1 year, then transfer to Pittsburgh State to major in art therapy. The readers of the roll for the class of 2000. Members of the Board of Education, ladies and gentlemen, the students who will be receiving their diplomas this evening have passed all the requirements for graduation according to the laws of the state of Kansas and the Board of Education of the Shawnee Mission School District. I am pleased to present them to you for the presentation of their diplomas, the class of 2000.
Kelly Eileen Abbott. Peter Adani. Jerry Ann Aring. Nick Aldrich. Tiana Nicole Alford. Joshua Ryan Ali. Aaron Kathleen Anderson. Adam Michael Earhart. Nicole Jean Arland. Jessica Lynn Armstrong. Joel Daniel Arrington. Shol Mayem Atem. Anthony Howard Baker. Samuel Baker. Brian Lee Barlow. Justin C. Barnhart. Brock Barrett. Daniel Vincent Bartlett. Christopher Lee Bell. Sean Brandon Baxter. Adam Elvire Bennett. Darren Lewis Bernal. Travis Andrew Burnt. Amy Marie Beverlin. Stephanie E. Beerworth. Paige Lee Billings. Dustin S. Billups. Melissa Suzanne Birdsong. William David Blackwell. Heather Maria Blake. Jacob Edwin Bosch. Lindsay Colleen Bodiger. Amy Lynn Bousman. James Edward Boyd. Mercedes Alexis Boyd. Charles D. Bradshaw. Jessica M. Brake. Jessica Lee Branner. Tracy Nicole Brockman. Seth Daniel Brooks. Emily Rachel Brooks. Trisha Lynn Brooks. Christopher Douglas Brown. Jason Joseph Berge. Kathleen Marie Burris. Gretchen Deanna Bury. Julie Renee Busby. Brian Paul Bush. Patrick James Cady. Crystal Nicole Kalovich. Donna Suzanne Caples. Rhiannon Marie Caraway. Jeremy Cardiff. Fallon Marie Carolyn. Rita Marie Carr. Michael P. Carrillo. Emma J. Carter. Mark Eugene Carter II. Brianna Allison Kavanaugh. Brandon Eugene Christian. Casey Lee Clark. James Michael Clausen. Casey Collier. Yolanda Therese Collins. Merrick Sutton Coltrane. Trevor A. Combs. Carissa Christine Connard. Brian Thomas Conklin. Cassandra Michelle Cooper. Justin Michael Corona. Roberta Morais Correa. Nicholas Scott Cosby. Angelina Dawn Coles. Jennifer Leah Crane. Jacob Craig Crosswhite. Megan Mead Cunningham. Casey P. Davidson. Jeff Davis. Christy Jane Davidson. Andy Davis. Andrea Ann Dean. Brenda Michelle Dean. Brianna Lynn DeCourcy. Timothy Wayne Deniston. Josette Lee Denoon. Grant Allen Denton. Andrew Leonard Denzer. Clint A. Derby. Angela Rochelle Dickerson. Stephen James Dickman. Jessica Louise Dixon. Joshua Kevin Dirks. Stacy Denise Dodson. Alexander N. Gall. Nicholas Keith Dolphay. Denise Lindsay Drake. Janelle R. Drake. Andrew Leonard Donahue.
Jeremy Robert Dupin. Sarah Grace Dye. Christopher Ryan England. Megan Leanne Eubanks. Robert J. Evans. Michael John Evinger. Catherine Elizabeth Favreau. David G. Fenstermacher. Katie Ryan Fern. Vincent Leon Fisher. Cheryl Lee Flaher. Richard A. Fox. John Patrick Frankie. Christina Antoinette Fry. Corey Ann Fry. Tanner Stephen Funk. Angela Jane Gentry. Christina H. George. Deanna Joe George. Rachel Ellen Germain. Jessica Rose Gibson. Tyler J. Gibson. Andrew Hobart Giesecke. Jeremy Michael Giles. Nicole Renee Glenn. Desney Lawan Glover. Donald Glenn Gowler. Kenna Marie Granger. Jared Scott Green. Brian Daniel Griffin. Martin H. Griffin. Teray Lee Grimes. Michael Jason Gross. Charla Kayleen Gustafson. Brian David Hackler. Michael Ray Half. Gary Christopher Handy. Laura Renee Hannah. Tiana Antonia Harding. Jason Osborne Hargett. Sarah Beth Harkleroad. Evan Baker Harmon. Jesse Thomas Harris. Christina Lee Harris. Adriel E. Havens. Sierra Laurel Hedrick. Ian Michael Helbush. Samuel Joe Hyatt. Donnie Ray Hicks. Katie E. Hills. Renata Mariko Hodges. Angela Joe Hofler. Benjamin Edward Holy. Bashan Ivana Holmes. Shelley M. Hood. Eric Allen Hausch. Kevin Wayne Horst. Oliver Miles Howard. Christopher James Hubler. Trevor Jorgensen Hudson. Derek Douglas Huffaker. Adam Price Hunter. Brenna Irvine. Gregory Demetrius Jackson. Justin Lamont Jackson. Melissa Gale Jackson. Brian Allen Jeffers. Amber Rose Jeffries. Jennifer Lynn Jinks. Brandon Lee Jewell. Jillian Marie Johns. Kristen N. Johnson. David Parker Jolliffe, Jr. Barry S. Jones. Philip A. Jones. Jamie Lee Justice. Deborah K. Kaler. Dustin Lee Kammerer. Kathleen M. Keene. Christina Renee Kellerman. Michelle LeRae Kennett. Joshua N. Kirshen. Andrew B. Kidwell. Jade Marie Kimmel. Angela Marie Kimsey. Nicole Marie King. Amelia King Kostelak. Nicholas J. Kipper. Elizabeth May Kuntz. Paul Richard Kramer. Kristen Marie Keene. Jason Daniel Kupsik. Amber Rochelle Lackey. Nicholas Earl Layden. Paige Aaron Lander. Brandy Michelle Lane.
Thad Russell Langenberg. Stephen F. Langford. Beth Anna Leakey. Carolyn M. Lee. Danielle Christine Lee. Rebecca Colleen Lee. Danielle Lesovitz. Emmy Lou Levins. Jeremy Catherine Laurenti. Patricia Geraldine Loomis. Jessica Marie Lopez. Jennifer Sue Lozer. Blake Ryan Lowe. Elizabeth Esperanza Lozano. Bo C. Liu. Kristen Marie Lure. Jeremy John Luther. Brian Jeremy Lutz. Douglas Robert Lynch. Stephen William Lynch. Jeremy Patrick Macon. Michael Joseph Majors. Michael D. Mahoney. Cora M. Malachuk. John Thomas Manker. Christopher James Martina. David John Marty. Jessica Lynn Maxwell. Eric W. McCollum. Sean Ryan McHugh. Lindsay Wynn McGuire. Sarah Renee McIntyre. Frank Bray McKelvey IV. Jennifer Cheryl McGowan. Jamie Lee McMahon. Robert Junius McManoy. Jonathan Anthony McPeak. Ryan Gunnar Melvin. Suzanne Marie Merriman. Tara Lynn Mears. Danielle Elizabeth Metz. Carlos James Miera. Jason David Miller. Jessica Lynn Miller. Tamisha Lachelle Miller. Chad E. Milstead. Chris Mark Milstead. James Allen Minnick. Robert John Minchell. Haley Marie Miskovich. Sandra Lynn Miskovich. Megan Joanne Moberly. Stephanie Mulmert. Matthew Allen Monsees. Anne M. Moore. Bonnie Marie Moran. Mary Catherine Morris. John Nathan Monks. John W. Mollies. Sochi Guadalupe Munoz. Brandon Allen Murray. Melissa May Murray. Brett Allen Meyer. Susan Marie Myers. William Randall Neely. Heather Renee Needham. Justin Floyd Neighbor. Jennifer Lynn Nemeth. Tony Wynn. Ryan Joseph Nybert. John Brandon Nicholas. Kathleen Marie Nick. Heather Nickum. Joey Nixon. Cherie D. Noel. Eric William O'Brien. Catherine Lee Ogden. Jessica Lynn Ogren. Ian Z. Oliphant. Amanda K. Onash. Linus Paul Orth. Michael Joseph Osterhaus. Michael William Ott. Josephine Amanda Palmerin. Tell M. Parrott. Elizabeth Elaine Penfield. Jeffrey A. Perkins. Leonard Paul Winifred Peterson. Brandon Glenn Peterson. Mark Allen Fanasteel. Brandy Leanne Phillips. Rebecca Lynn Phipps. Scott Adam Pinkelman. David Andrew Pletke. Jessica Jane Plummer. Timothy Andrew Pogue. Tyler Lawrence Poole. Christopher Michael Lloyd Pope.
Barbara Ann Porter. Kaylee Rochelle Potts. Prentice Dion Jean Potts. Jennifer Lee Pressler. David L. Price. Jason Allen Pyle. Rochelle Elizabeth Ralston. Justin Patrick Ramirez. Samantha Lynn Ramsey. Molly Dean Rasdall. Jesse Maxwell Rasmussen. Jody A. Ratana. Brett Lennon Ray. Miles Joseph Raymond. David Edward Ray. Scott Allen Reed. Nathan Edward Reeves. Sandra Lynn Reynolds. Elizabeth K. Richardson. Alexander J. Rieger. Andrew T. Ritter. Erin Colleen Robaugh. Erin Robertson. Jennifer Rebecca Robinson. Lester Robinson. Christian Derek Rodriguez. Jessica Ann Rodriguez. Amy Marie Rowe. Brian Lambert Roos. James J. Rowan. Aaron L. Rucker. Marcus Allen Ruiz. David J. Rutten. Elena Maria Salinas. Lucas James Jean Sanders. Leslie Kimball Saunders. Rachel Lee Sawchuk. Courtney Ann Scanlon. Drew Samuel Schinberger. Michael Aaron Schlechter. Gabrielle Marie Schmidt. Jessica Diane Schmidt. Kathleen Ruth Schrader. Jason David Schween. Natalie Ann Scott. Torian Lavon Scott. Emily Ann Seraphin. Keisha Marie Sexton. Mary Catherine Shanahan. Martin Eugene Sharkey. Stephanie Michelle Shipman. Christopher Landis Shively. Armand Wesley Sykes IV. Elizabeth Mary Sywick. Christopher L. Smith. Jessica Victoria Smith. Carissa Danae Smith. Leanne Jean Smith. Megan R. Smith. Janie Sunabandith. Rebecca Ann Speary. Ryan Michael Stacy. Carolyn E. Steele. Kendra Renee Stevens. Justin Michael Stewart. Catherine Lynn Stoker. Shadonna Erlene Maria Stone. Ryan Scott Story. Megan Eileen Stringer. Derek Christopher Strom. Daniel Christopher Sullins. Kenneth Carl Sullivan. James Christopher Sykes. Shane Michael Talbot. Jessica Ann Tvbaugh. Tamara Danielle Thomas. Tana Christine Thomas. Amanda Brooke Thompson. Ronald Dean Thompson. Rebecca Diane Tice. Sarah Faye Timberlake. Timothy James Tourville. Allison Marie Trawl. Melissa Ann Ufford. Katrina Lorraine Vandeputty. David Trey Vargas. Justin A. Beasley. Andrea N. Vivers. Adam L. Wechter. Ross Eugene Waters. Sarah Jean Welker. Shauna Christine Weinecke. James Michael Weithorn. Nick Melendez. Royal LaRue Williamson. Jessica Brooke Wilson. Kyla Wilson. Nicole Marie Winkler. Joseph A. Winslow. Lena Louise Woolner. Andrew Charles Wools. Kelly Ann Wood. Daniel Ursel Wright. Andrea Lynn Yates. Tyler J. Young.
Would those students who will be leading the graduating class of 2000 in singing the school song please come forward at this time? Those people who will be leading us are Julie Busby, James Klassen, Josh Dirks, Jessica Ogren, Aaron Robaugh, James Rowan, and Megan Cunningham. If you'd all please stand for the singing of the school song.
Shawnee mission, here's our toast to thee. We will cherish and respect thee, pledge our loyalty. We will honor, we will love thee, send our colors forth. Shawnee mission North.
The faculty and administration now recognizes those of you who received diplomas as graduates of Shawnee Mission North High School. May you represent North with honor. As you move the tassel of your cap, we offer you our congratulations. Congratulations, class of 2000. Parents, friends, graduates, we would invite you now to come down onto the field, and in a couple of minutes, if you'll look off to your west, we'll have a surprise for you. If you come down out of the stands, a couple of minutes, we'll have a surprise for you. Come down onto the field. Thank you all for coming.